Negotiable Instruments Act 1881, and this is the part 1. We are talking about the introduction, what it contains in the Negotiable Instruments Act. So basically, we map the Negotiable Instruments Act with this chart so that you can better understand what exactly it contains, how you better remember and better understand the subject. So mainly the summary of NI Act is basically divided into 3 parts. Number 1 is conceptual elements, and second is substantial elements, and third is key points. And this is going to be discussed in 2 parts. That is why here we mention 2 parts. And the conceptual element contains definitions. What are the standard definitions given by the sections, and the meanings and various vocabulary meanings will be discussed. In the substantial elements, the subject of the matter, it's going to be divided into 9 mainstream topics under this act. And again, there are 30 sub-elements under these 9 mainstream acts. So you need to remember it this way. There are 9 topics. Under this, there are 30 sub-elements. If you remember this, you have idea about what is negotiable instrument that contains. This is called mapping. With the mapping, you better remember what you learned, and you better extract what you actually learned in previous days. That is, this is a better technique in visual learning technology. So we're going to discuss what are those main 9 elements, 9 topics. Under this, what are the subtopics that contain, so that we have an overview of the Negotiable Instruments Act. So the first one is negotiable instrument, and it contains 6 subtopics, and we're going to see what are those. Number 1 is promissory note. Number 2 is essential ingredients of valid promissory note, and third is bills of exchange, and the fourth is again essential requirements of valid bills of exchange. Parties to our bills of exchange. Who are parties to our bills of exchange? Who are the capable of doing this kind of bills of exchange? We're going to be discussed under this 5th point. And the 6th and last point under the first topic is check. This is the most important, and nowadays there are many cases that are coming up with the check bouncing cases. And then 2 is ambiguous instruments. Ambiguous is nothing but a different kind, a vague, that is called ambiguous instrument. We're going to discuss about what is ambiguous instrument. We have a definition for that, we have a meaning for that, we're going to discuss. And third is endorsement. Again, we also given these numbers here 4, so that you can understand while we actually watching this lesson. There are 4 subtopics under this endorsement. That is our main purpose, to map the knowledge into your visual learning technology, into your brain directly. So number 1 is persons who can endorse, and the second one is effects of endorsement, kinds of endorsements, liabilities of endorser. We'll go ahead and see a 4th main topic, presentment. And again, this has 4 subtopics. Those are presentment for acceptance, presentment for payment, time of presentment, and place of presentment. These are the essentials for the presentment, so that in your examination, they're going to ask presentment. Under this, they may ask separately about these kind of sections. We are going to discuss about these sections in coming up lessons. And the 5th one is cross checks. That is, this cross check, this topic is going to be dealt under 123 to 138. Again, this has 8 main subtopics and subpoints that you need to remember. Those are cross checks, payment of checks generally, checks cross specially, payment of check cross specially, payment of checks cross specially more than one, payment in due course of cross check, payment of cross checks out of due course, checks bearing not negotiable. Bearing means holding. When you write some kind of thing, that is bearing, bearer check. something like that. Okay. Dishonor check. What if the dishonor happens? What are the liabilities of the triads? That's we're going to discuss under sixth point. Presumptions as to negotiable instruments. Notice of dishonor, that is eighth point. And eighth point has five sub-elements. That's why we mentioned here as a five, so that you can better remember. Number one is notice must be given within a reasonable time. That is a number one point. Mode of giving notice. When notice of dishonor is not necessary, liability of a company under section 138. And the fifth and last point under the eighth spec, cognizance of offences under the NI Act. And the ninth is evidences and offences. It has three sub-elements. Bank slips as an evidence in court, cognizance of case for offence of dishonor of check under section 147, and this is a statement. This is most likely appearable in exam. Offences under Negotiable Instruments Act are compoundable. This is also statement that comes under evidences and offences. So these are two statements that are mainly submerged or subnested under the evidences, so that you directly remember these kind of things, so that you'll be get benefited in your academic examinations. So this is the end of introduction part, that is a part 1. We have completed this thing, and we are going to coming up with topics 1 to 3, what we have discussed right just before. And in part 2, part 3 topics 4 to 6, part 4 is topic 6 to 9, and 5th is a key points. What are the key points that you need to remember? That's we also going to be explained under this part. And again, key points along with the important sections. So thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you in the next lesson. Until then,